welcome back. I'm so glad you could join me today. Today we'll be doing a nice little painting I hope you guys could enjoy. And today we have three angles this time. So front and both to my side. And I thought today we could do a nice little winter painting. Last painting we did a winter painting, and we're using the same size canvas as last time. Last time we used 8 by 10 I believe. And so this time we'll be using an 8 by 10 as well. Let me put this to the side. And I thought we could do a nice little design here. So I cut out some tape, put it to the sides. But I think we're going to change it up a bit. It was for a painting I thought I could do, but I scratched it off. I lost the idea and it's gone. So, oh, my medium fell to the side. Let me just pick that up real quick. Let me run the colors across the screen. Like, you'll need to paint along with me while they're doing that. We could get started. I already explained what I got done up here. So, you might see more colors on my palette, like these random colors. I was working on a project, commission painting, so just ignore those. We're not going to use those colors. We're just going to use the colors we always use. So let me just dust off my palette a bit, and let's get started with today's painting. So I thought today we could do like a dark, almost nighttime painting. So I'm going into a little bit of phthalo blue and midnight black, just a little bit, just to darken it up. Tap it into your bristles. Let's come up here and just go crazy. On the canvas, I got a 1-inch brush and I was just tapping some black gesso. Just a little design. Thought we could make it look a bit more crazy. And you could see those dots here and there. So just get it nicely in there. And I want to darken up those corners a bit. So mountain mixture and just a touch of phthalo blue. We're gonna change it up, as I said, so we're not gonna be following those lines. Right now we are, but when I take it off, we're gonna make it look a bit different. Hopefully you guys can see this because some of the shade, but I think we'll be fine. A little bit of white, just here and there. Just like so, we have ourselves a nice dark sky. Now I could go into a little bit more blue and just fix it up a bit. Doesn't really matter. Now I put my brush to the side. We'll come back to it. Okay, let's do this. We got some of that showing. Let me clear off a little spot on my titanium white. I had a little phthalo blue on there. Polluted it, so I had to clean it off a bit. 2-inch brush, once again. Tap it. Let's come up here. And titanium white is quite the transparent color, so it'll be hard to see those dots that I did prior to this. So just a little bit. Tap some more paint. And just get that nice little snow soft effect. It's a soft snow. Some soft snow. You can also tap it and just pull to the side. Now, I think I want a little bit of contrast. So I'm going to put a little bit of blue at the bottom. And just blend it out. Right into that white. So when we put our second layer, it'll work. It'll have that contrast. You know what? I think we'll use a little bit of mountain mixture. Let me just tap some out. Okay, I'm gonna go back into a little bit of white. Sort of just seamlessly blend it together. Now, let's go ahead. Let's make a cabin. Maybe it's old Santa Claus's barn. Maybe he's living there. A little bit of mountain mixture and a little bit of Van Dyke brown on the palette. Mix it up completely. Just like so. Cut a roll just right across. You get that nice little roll of paint on the edge of your knife. Let's come up here. I think my cabin lives somewhere around here. So you just gotta design your cabin a bit. When you're doing this, you can use contact paper. That'll work just as fine. I just haven't had the best experience, so thus is the reason why I don't use contact paper. But for some people, it works great. I just never used it, and the time I used it didn't turn out the best. So I just stuck to duct tape. But you guys could cut out so many shapes. You could do a star. You could do uh, a palette, depending on your canvas size. You could do a whole palette. It really doesn't matter. You could do so many things with it. Now, let me put this pile of paint to the side. Some dark sienna, some Van Dyke brown, as you can see here, and a little bit of titanium white. Leave it marbled though. Don't overmix it. Cut a roll of paint. Get that nice little roll on the edge. Let's come up here. No pressure. Either way, we're gonna cover up this brown with some white. I just put that brown to make it seem like there's wood under it. So I'm just darkening up my color, just so it could come down different tone. Okay. Now, let me wipe this knife off. And let's grab a small palette knife. As you can see here, number 5. And let's go into our dark color. Cut a roll of paint. On the edge of your knife, you should get that little roll. Let's come up here. Let's put in a nice little door. Just by going across. Okay? And you can just scratch off a little bit. Now, I'm going to go back into my titanium white paint. It's a little polluted because of my Van Dyke brown, but it's okay. Just cut a nice little roll. You should get it on the edge of your knife. Let's come up here and shoot. This cabin is frozen. You might have to go back and fix up the door a little bit. Okay? and just let it come right down. Now, going back to our dark color, just to reaffirm our door. Something like so. Now, we have that dark color on. So now we can go into some more titanium white and just slide it under. Maybe it picks up a little bit of that brown. Doesn't matter. Just load your brush and just go at it. Okay. Now, let me mix up nice color, nice dark brown. So we have this brown highlight and mountain mixture. Just mix it up. A little bit more brown into there. Just a little. Pick up the paint. Flip it. Just mix it until you're satisfied with it. Okay. Today's gonna be like a very, very simple example. Even a beginner could do this. A little bit of Van Dyke brown, a little bit of fountain mixture. Just pulling it through the brush. The more pressure you put into your brush, the more wider it gets towards the bottom. So if you're trying to get skinny like at the top and thick like base, put more pressure towards the bottom and you'll get what you're looking for. Okay? Let me wash the brush. Let's switch angles. So as you can see, I have my dirty brush. Run it through my cleaner. Nice little swash at it. Nice clean brush. And I just rinse it out in some water. Take off the excess and just wipe it off. With smaller brushes, if you beat the bristles, it could damage it compared to those bigger brushes. Okay, a script liner. We'll go into a script liner and some medium and just thin that medium out. Thin that paint out. It should be like ink, as you can see here. Just rolls off. Let's come up here, and I want the branches to go upwards, not downwards. So this could take a while, depending on how many branches you want. Some people like it with few. Some people like it with a lot. And that's good because that way everyone's painting is different. There's no same painting. If we all thought the same thing, painted the same thing, life would be boring. Maybe not for some of you, but for me, it would be pretty boring. I forgot to put in the stars, but we'll come back to that. That's to show you that you could put the stars or whatever at the last moment if you change your mind. You could just do so many little branches just hanging off. So many little upward branches. I call these winter trees. The ones where it got no leaves, but the branches are going upward, meaning it's still somewhat alive. The dead ones are the ones where the branches come down. Those to me, it's like it's in its final stages. It's time to say our goodbyes to that tree. Just loading up and going back and forth, back and forth. I think I'm gonna leave it like that. When you're painting, you can go back and forth. You have unlimited time. Or maybe not unlimited, because you might have to do chores, you might have to clean your house, you might have to wash your car, but you have more time than 20, 30 minutes than me, so it's better. But all I'm doing is some titanium white with mixed with a little bit of brown, just a little bit. Just glide it. Just dance it. Let it shine. Some titanium white, pure titanium white, as you can see here. Let's come up here and let's put some few indications that this tree is covered with snow. Maybe even a little bit here. Something like so. And you could do the same thing. You could get some white and just go over these little branches. Just to make it pop out a bit more. But I won't go much in detail with that. Unless I have time to spare, which I think I will. But for now I'm gonna play it safe. And let's come up here. Third snowbank. Just loading my brush and just going at it. That you can leave this painting done because you already have your cabin, you have your sky, nighttime, whatever. Okay, so now it's free time. I'm gonna go with the filbert brush and I'm gonna add more details into this. I'm gonna go into a little bit of mountain mixture, just a little bit, and maybe even a little bit of Van Dyke brown. Shoot, what the heck? Maybe even a little cadmium yellow. I don't want it too green. And just putting a small indication of some distant little trees that live out in the far. You can just grab it on. Only thing that matters basically is that top layer. Make sure it's a little pointy. Just lift upward. But I want it to be pretty dark. So then when I put my highlights on, when I put my snow color, my titanium white, it'll show up better. So got some distant little trees. Let's go into some titanium white. Now mostly focused on the top, not at the bottom. And just starting at the top and just pulling down. Now, with the 2-inch brush that I've been using to paint the snow, I'm gonna grab it, lift it upward. And if you need to blend some of it, feel free to. Go ahead and blend some of it out. Now, we gotta fix our cabin again. Titanium white. Just bring out that edge again. just like so. It's drenched in snow. Snowstorm came and covered it with tons of snow. Let's come up here. I think I want extra little highlight in there. Just soften that bottom. Now, oh, clean brush. I need a dirty brush. We could actually, I'm gonna show you. Instead of telling you, I'm gonna just show you. Mountain mixture, a little bit of white that I had on it, but I want it pretty dark. Let's zoom in up to here. I don't know which angle we're gonna do it, but let's just zoom in. Let's put an indication, but distant evergreen. And you could paint evergreen trees with the filbert brush. Surprisingly, you guys could paint evergreen trees with filbert brushes, the oval brush, a 1 inch, 2 inch, fan brushes, filbert brushes, even script liners, but those take longer. It's just up to you guys which one's easier and what tool you guys want to use. I think I'm gonna put another evergreen tree at the distant. This tree needs a friend, so we're gonna give him a nice little friend. But with the filbert brush, it's the same idea with the fan brush. Just use the corner. Just like so. And you can just pull the bottom of it. Just lightly. Let's go into a clean filbert brush. Let's go into titanium white. Load that brush up pretty good. Look at how much paint is on that brush. Let's come up here and just tap little indication that there's some snow. Can't leave your other tree left out. Okay, something there. Those trees aren't too detailed, so it doesn't really matter. But you could grab a small palette knife, some Van Dyke brown, some white, cut a roll. You could put in a nice little tree chunk. Okay, well, if the base of the tree is this wide, might as well just widen out the tree a bit. It's just changes we're doing now. But hey, when you're painting, you could do any changes to that painting. You're not stuck with one look. Something like so. You can grab some mountain mixture. You can make this tree whatever color you want, however you want it, wherever you want it. What matters is you as the artist is satisfied. That's all that matters. Let's go ahead. Titanium white. Going back to that white look, that snowy look. Jack Frost came here too early. Or maybe he came at the right time, but we put too much snow. He didn't spread out the snow enough how it's supposed to. Gotta make up some stories. Truly does help. Okay, back to our liner brush. Let me just go into some mountain mixture to darken it up just a little bit. Make sure you get enough paint on that brush. Oh, that shows up better. Okay, and just going back and forth, back and forth. Okay, trying to speed this up just a bit. But you can do so many things with that. Now, final thing before I log off this video, I'm going to go into a little bit of mountain mixture. Let's come up here. Maybe lives here. Just a couple marks. Maybe there lives nice campfire. So just either alizarin crimson, cadmium yellow, or you can do cadmium yellow and bright red. Just let that fire go. Don't try to keep it captive. A little bit more. Maybe this fire got angry for some reason. White. Just a little bit more. Pull that down. Go ahead. I said that was the last thing, but I want to put some bushes. So let me just do that real quick. Load up your brush one direction. It'll curve one of the side of your brushes. Let's come up here. Now this is a nice winter painting. Okay. I'm going to titanium white, but go with it with some medium. That medium will thin out that paint, and what it does is it'll allow that paint to stick on better onto that thick paint. But you're just loading up one direction, and it'll curve one side, and it should be no pressure. If you feel like you're putting a lot of pressure, chances are your paint's too thick, and you gotta thin that paint out. Okay. Well, I thank you guys for joining me today. And now, here comes the fun part, taking off the tape. If I can take it off. Let me see where the tape begins, where it starts, stops. Oh my god. There we go. Okay. First layer. That's the first layer of tape. Now the second one, which I believe is this one. Now this would be a great painting that you could give out to your friends and family, maybe for Christmas, or just to try out painting. I do it in oil paints, but you guys could do it in acrylics, watercolor. It's just a different take on it. Look at that. A nice little winter scene. There's a box. And the video's over, but I said we would put in some stars. So let's put in a couple little stars. Very thin, 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 white. As thin as I can get it. And just flick some of that with your fan brush and palette knife. You could use your finger, but you'll get paint on your finger. Like if I don't have any paint on my finger. But still, if you're wearing gloves and all that, I think that's better. Just a few here and there. Well, I thank you guys for joining me in today's video. Today's video was a great one, as you can see. A nice little cold winter scene. I'm almost chilling up in here. But I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care. Goodbye. Brush cleaning. So I got my fan brush. Dip it in. Clean it. Some people like brush cleaning. I'm not a big fan of it, but hey, if you are, no judgment. But either way, you still gotta clean your brushes. It's very important to clean and take care of your brushes. Your brushes help you do these paintings, you gotta take care of them, man. Just run it through. Make sure your brush is thoroughly clean. Squeegee out the axis. Now this is a fun brush to clean, since you got the 2-inch and you can beat the bristles. Take off the axis. And just beat the devil out of it. That helps dry out the brush. You're taking out all the water and all the soap from the brush. And same thing with the 1-inch. But the 1-inch isn't as fun, since you gotta do it in order to. Some brushes are more springier than others, so you'll feel that little spring, that little bounce. Run it through a little bit of my cleaner. It's a mixture of soap, water, and oil. I just use the cheap stuff. Oil, I use cooking oil. Water, I use tap water. And for the soap, I use dish soap. I use Dawn. That one's pretty good. It helps clean out all that build up on your brushes. Just scrub off. The water's there just to rinse out the cleaner. Okay. 2-inch. And I think that's it for today. Just squeegee out the water. Rinse it out. Shake off the excess. That's a good way to take out all your frustrations and anger, just by beating that brush. Well, I thank you for joining me today, and if you saw this, usually it puts a smile on my face. When I see people cleaning brushes, it's just fun to do. So I thank you for joining me, and I thank you for supporting me, and my next goal is 150 subscribers, and then we'll move on from there. But until then, I like to wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you on the next painting. Thank you. Bye.